Hey everyone, and welcome back to your Brain Lied. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're diving into something that I think a lot of us experience, but often misinterpret: emotional burnout. It's like that slow leak in your tire. You don't notice it right away, but eventually you're driving on fumes. We often associate burnout with sheer exhaustion, the feeling of being completely run ragged. And that's definitely part of it. But what about those sneaky early signs, the ones that whisper instead of shout, the ones that trick you into thinking you're just lazy or that you've lost interest? That's what we're unpacking today. So, what does emotional burnout even feel like? Well, it's more than just being tired after a long week. It's a deep, pervasive weariness that seeps into everything you do. Imagine your emotions are like a rechargeable battery. When you're healthy, you charge it regularly. But with emotional burnout, that battery isn't charging properly and it's draining faster than it can replenish. You start with a full charge each day, or close to it, but everything pulls more power. A simple task at work, a conversation with your partner, even choosing what to have for dinner can drain the battery faster than usual. One of the early, subtle signs is a sense of emotional numbness. You might find yourself in situations that should evoke a strong reaction, like joy or sadness, but you just feel blah. It's like watching a movie through a foggy window. You can see what's happening, but you can't really feel it. This isn't necessarily depression, though the two can sometimes overlap. It's more of a protective mechanism. Your brain is trying to shield you from being overwhelmed by emotions, so it dials them down, way down. Let's say you've landed your dream job. For months, you were filled with anticipation and excitement. But now, a few months in, you're going through the motions. You're performing well, meeting deadlines, but the joy is gone. You find yourself thinking, is this it? You're not necessarily unhappy, but you're definitely not happy. That lack of emotional engagement can be a red flag. Another common early sign is cynicism. This isn't just having a bad day and complaining a little. It's a persistent negative outlook that starts to color your perception of everything. You start seeing the flaws in everything and everyone. Your coworkers, your friends, even your partner. Their quirks and imperfections become magnified. You might catch yourself making sarcastic remarks more often, or rolling your eyes at things that wouldn't have bothered you before. It's like wearing glasses that only show the negative aspects of the world. Imagine you're volunteering for a cause you used to be passionate about. You used to be energized by the work, feeling like you were making a real difference. But now, you find yourself questioning the organization's motives, doubting the effectiveness of your efforts, and generally feeling disillusioned. You start thinking, what's the point? It's all just a waste of time. That's cynicism creeping in. Burnout often disguises itself as laziness or disinterest. This is where it gets tricky because you might start judging yourself harshly. You think, I'm just being lazy. I need to pull myself together and get motivated. But that's often not the case. What looks like laziness is often your brain's way of conserving energy. It's saying, I can't handle this right now. I need a break. The problem is, you're not giving it the break it needs. You're pushing through, fueled by guilt and self-criticism, which only exacerbates the burnout. Think about it like this. You're trying to run a marathon, but your body is telling you it needs water and rest. Instead of listening, you keep pushing yourself, ignoring the signals. Eventually, you're going to collapse. Emotional burnout is similar. Your brain is sending signals that it needs rest and recovery, but you're ignoring them, thinking you just need to try harder. Let's say you've always been a very social person, enjoying time with friends and family. Now, you find yourself dreading social events. You make excuses to stay home, even though you know you should go out. You might tell yourself you're just being antisocial or that you've lost interest in your friends. But it could be that your social battery is depleted. You need time alone to recharge, but you're misinterpreting that need as laziness or disinterest. Another way burnout hides is through physical symptoms. We often think of burnout as solely a mental or emotional issue, but it manifests physically too. Things like headaches, digestive problems, and sleep disturbances can all be early warning signs. Your body and mind are connected, so when your emotional state is strained, your physical health suffers too. Maybe you've noticed you're getting sick more often than usual. You're catching every cold that goes around, or you're experiencing unexplained aches and pains. You might brush it off as just bad luck, but it could be a sign that your immune system is weakened due to chronic stress and emotional exhaustion. Or perhaps you're tossing and turning every night. You can't seem to switch off. Your mind races with worries and to-do lists even when you're exhausted. Sleep is supposed to be restorative, but it's not, and lack of sleep makes everything harder. This makes the emotional exhaustion even worse. It's a vicious cycle. So how do you start to address these subtle signs of emotional burnout? The first step is awareness. Recognizing these early warning signs is half the battle. Once you know what to look for, you can start taking steps to prevent burnout from escalating. One of the most effective strategies is to prioritize self-care. And I know, self-care can sound cliché, but it's essential. Self-care isn't about bubble baths and expensive spa treatments, although those can be nice too. It's about identifying what truly nourishes you and incorporating those activities into your daily life. It could be something as simple as taking a walk in nature, reading a book, listening to music, or spending time with loved ones. The key is to choose activities that genuinely replenish your energy and bring you joy. Remember that rechargeable battery? Self-care is like plugging it in to charge. You need to regularly give yourself time to recharge, or you'll eventually run out of power. This isn't selfish. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly depleted, you won't be able to effectively care for others or perform well at work. Another important step is setting boundaries. This is especially crucial if you're a people pleaser or someone who struggles to say no. Learning to set healthy boundaries is about protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. It's about recognizing your limits and communicating them clearly to others. Think of boundaries like fences around your property. They define where your property ends and someone else's begins. Without fences, people might wander onto your property and take things without your permission. Boundaries are similar. They protect your time, energy, and emotional space from being encroached upon by others. If you're constantly saying yes to things you don't want to do, you're essentially letting others drain your battery. You're sacrificing your own needs and well-being to please others. Learning to say no, without guilt or explanation, is a powerful way to reclaim your time and energy. It allows you to prioritize your own needs and prevent burnout. Finally, don't be afraid to seek support. Talking to a therapist, counselor, or trusted friend can provide valuable perspective and support. Sometimes just verbalizing your feelings and experiences can be incredibly helpful. It can help you feel less alone and more understood. It's also important to remember that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. It takes courage to admit that you're struggling and to reach out for support. Think of it like this: if you had a broken leg, you wouldn't hesitate to see a doctor. Emotional burnout is similar. It's an injury that requires attention and care. Talking to a professional can provide you with tools and strategies to manage stress, cope with difficult emotions, and develop healthier coping mechanisms. They can also help you identify underlying issues that may be contributing to your burnout. So, as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a few practical takeaways and reflection questions to consider. First, take some time this week to reflect on your own emotional state. Are you experiencing any of the subtle signs of burnout that we discussed today? Are you feeling emotionally numb, cynical, or disinterested in things you used to enjoy? Are you experiencing physical symptoms like headaches, digestive problems, or sleep disturbances? Be honest with yourself and try to identify any areas where you might be struggling. Second, identify one small step you can take this week to prioritize self-care. What activity truly nourishes you and brings you joy? It doesn't have to be anything elaborate or time-consuming. It could be as simple as taking a 15-minute walk in nature, reading a chapter of a book, or listening to your favorite music. The key is to choose something that you genuinely enjoy and that helps you relax and recharge. Third, consider where you might need to set healthier boundaries in your life. Are you constantly saying yes to things you don't want to do? Are you allowing others to drain your time, energy, and emotional well-being? Identify one area where you can start setting boundaries and practice communicating your needs clearly and assertively. Remember, recognizing and addressing the early signs of emotional burnout is crucial for your long-term well-being. It's about taking care of yourself, setting healthy boundaries, and seeking support when you need it. You deserve to feel happy, healthy, and energized. And by taking these steps, you can start to reclaim your emotional well-being and prevent burnout from taking over your life. Thanks for tuning in to Your Brain Lied. I hope this episode was helpful. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.